Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs on the path of true love. Welcome to your September 2019 reading. The decks are blessed. We're pulling one from each of the usual 5 decks. We've got the Carolyn Mace archetypes. You'll see them. The Angelic Oracle, Doreen Virtue, Daughters of the Moon, Fiona Morgan, Love Pack, Chuck Spezzano, and the Whispers of Love Oracle, which I need to remember the artist and author's name on that. I will. I'll get to that. So we're kicking these off with you, Aries. I always do these off, not alphabetically. I do these zodiacally from Aries to Pisces. So I got some specific guidance to do these a little bit differently, to go a little deeper, to go a little bit longer, and also a recommendation to you. Have a cup of coffee, a cup of Wonder coffee. Oh yes, I'm wearing my Amazon Princess for you today. My Aries. They told me not just to go a little bit deeper, a little bit longer, but that perhaps to go look at your other signs, right? So if you're Aries Sun, check your, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs, not just for this month, but you might want to go back and look at August, because I'm taping these in August, and I will be releasing these in August. So there's probably a zone of overlap there. Cool, cool. So while I was blessing the decks, which is so much fun to do, I really get downloaded with the guidance and the grace. So let's see what happens. Ready? Here we go. My pantheon of angels, gods, and masters, please give us one card for the Aries Collective Sun, Moon, Rising signs on the path of true love for September 2019. What is the soul power that they are developing on the path of true love? What is the archetype, the main archetype that they can focus on and look at for the path of true love for August 2019? The bully. You big bully. Now, maybe you're bullying yourself. Maybe you're bullying somebody else. Maybe you're being bullied, but we will look at that. I'm going to get each starting card from one of the 5 decks. I'll look at that, and then we're going to dive in. Who knows how many cards are going to be on the table. I will go where I am led for y'all and for all of these readings. For September. Oh, my birthday is in September, so Virgo should be interesting, and I'm so glad I don't have Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus signs, because then I won't take this so damn personally in the edits. But you can take it personally if you like. Although read the 4 Agreements. Read the 4 Agreements by Domingo Ruiz. Ready? That was probably from them. My angels, please. One card for the Aries Collective Sun, Moon, Rising signs on the path of true love for September 2019. Just please, an overview, a quickie, a clue, a tip. No, there were 2 there. A clue, a tip, a hint. A clue, a tip, a hint for the Aries Collective on the path of true love for September. Harmony. Now that's very interesting with the bully card. There's the harmony. Harmony. And also what I'm going to do is, instead of popping up the cards for every single card that comes up, I'm going to just take a picture of each line, and we'll see how it goes in edits. That's the great thing about my editing software. It's fun. My gods, please, one card for the Aries Collective Sun, Moon, Rising signs on the path of true love for September 2019. Please, one card. Clue, a tip, a hint for the Aries Collective. Please, one card. This one. The Ace of Blades, the Sibyl, which is the Oracle of Delphi. Hold your water, Sibyl, even though it's an air sign, right? It's the Sibyl. Some new stuff coming in. Ace of Swords, right? Ace of Blades in this deck. So yeah, new beginning, new communication, all of that. But we're going to go so deep into this, you're going to need a massage afterwards. You're going to need a nap. And a massage, and just to absorb all of this, all y'all. My masters, please, one card for the Aries Collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs on the path of true love for September 2019. No, that's the card. Here we go. Play. Wow, bully on the playground. Let's look. Please, my pantheon of angels, gods, and masters, one card, please, for the Aries Collective Sun, Moon, Rising signs on the path of true love for August I did it again, for September 2019. They're like, we know. That's why I blessed the decks beforehand. It's like encoding them. They know. Receive with love and appreciation. Receiving something lovingly from others is a way of showing love. In other words, let it in. Someone does something nice to you, receive, receive. Now, look, we're not talking divine masculine, divine feminine here. I'm saving that pretty much for the twin flame reads. You might want to go check those out too for September, for August. I'm going to do those for September. But I have to say, looking at this bully card, Aries, of all the signs of the zodiac, now obviously Taurus being the bull has a verbal connection there, but Aries being such a warrior sign, right? Planet of Mars. My Aries, this is my ring for Aries, Artemis, and Hephaestus, my 3 child archetypes. So, by the way, I do have Saturn in Aries. Retrograde. So, you know, it's a thing where that Aries thing, being on my own, right? Being a bit of a loner. But with the bully here, let me read you this. The light and shadow attributes, every archetype has light and shadow. So on the top, you can't really see it in this lighting. On the, see, it says light attribute, and on the bottom, shadow attribute. Here we go. Light attribute highlights your tendency to intimidate others, helps you confront the inner fears that bully you. So that's on the light side of it. So when you feel like you're starting to intimidate someone, right, this archetype can make you aware that maybe you're intimidating. Now, my guides are reminding me that as I was growing up as a teenager, I was very much a loner. And after a while, people who became friends of mine, little by little, were saying, well, we always saw you by yourself and you just looked like you wanted to be alone, that you're very intimidating. I was like, what? I'm intimidating? Yeah, I'm Mars conjunct Leo rising, so I look that way. But really, I'm a sweet, sensitive Pisces moon with a Virgo sun, right? So none of that says intimidation. But perhaps that's something you need to look at of yourself. Are you on full blast? Now, I tell people, be on full blast if you're going to be on full blast. In for a penny, in for a pound. But that might be part of the conflict here. Are you bullying yourself? Say, well, you shouldn't fucking do that. You shouldn't hold back, hold back, hold back, hold back, right? For safety. So let's look at the shadow attribute. Not that we don't know what the shadow bully is. Conceals deep fears behind verbal or physical abuse. So really take a look at the relationships that you're in on the path of true love. Are you perhaps confronting a bully? Are you dealing with the bully archetype? Now, we're not doing a second line for the other. I saved that for the twin flame readings. So this might be you dealing with an abusive physical, emotional, really it's as verbal or physical abuse, but let's add to that spiritual abuse, mental abuse, psychological abuse. Neglect is a form of abuse. It's sort of its evil opposite, so to speak. So I always tell people, the moment, let's talk sacred contract for a moment. The moment a relationship becomes abusive or neglectful, contract canceled, done. Pick up your bed and walk. Move on, move on, move on, move on. So the bully there, if you're walking on eggshells, and remember, if you're making yourself walk on eggshells, that's something to look at, because here the angel of harmony is saying that somehow all of this is in balance. They're directing me towards the heart chakra here, that this is about you being in emotional harmony. Now, how do you do that? Well, love and fear, just really good examples, as those are the opposite ends of the emotional spectrum. How do you balance that? How do you bring that into harmony? Well, one way you do that, and this may be a new idea for you, a new download, is to love your fear. Now, that doesn't mean you let it possess you. That doesn't mean that then your fear, you use that to bully yourself and others. In fact, you use that archetype as a system of power routing. It's like a routing system, how this flavor of power of the bully moves through you, which, by the way, the part of the bully that no one wants to look at is the coward, that behind that the bully is a mask for the coward. So to go inside and allow those emotions to come into harmony by you taking the position of your higher self, if you like that word, right? If it's going on in any of the heart, the throat, any of the 7 chakras, pop up to the 8th and be like, no, it's okay. I'm here, kid. Like, think of it as inner child work. It's okay. You're the child. The Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. You're the babies. You're the infants, right? What do you do with a scared baby? You let it freak, right? It can't express itself. And you know, I'm not seeing anything here immediately in these first 5 cards about communication. Although, you know, Ace of Blades can be a seed of communication, a beginning of communication, but it feels like that's something that you communicate to that child within you and allow that seed of, oh my God, I'm so afraid, I'm going to be abandoned, I'm going to be abused, I'm going to know, so it's okay, it's okay. You bring that into harmony. It's not easy, but in my experience, it's the only way through to love what rises. Just saying, love yourself in a whole new way, a whole new vantage point, a whole new way of looking at it. Because then with this card play, that's like a real light touch to this. That really, let's connect this. What that child inside of you really wants to do is play, right? It wants to be in harmony and it wants to play in a new way. But has that child dealt with bullies before? You know, and particularly in the dating scene, people can be so aggressive, like just online and apps and all that stuff, that you might be intimidated. Or again, you might be the intimidator, but make sure this play doesn't have to do with necessarily being a player, although Aries, you're sort of known for it, gotta say, that you're really getting this opportunity to play this differently. Right, well, particularly with these two, right, with the Ace, a new thought, a new perspective, a new beginning of understanding and belief with play, that you could play this role differently. And then, of course, to receive, right, receive with love and appreciation, that trust that whatever is coming for you, you know, here they're rerouting me to say the same thing, that there is a divine plan in play, that the path of true love is a path. It's a way of looking at your spiritual path, your healing path, your growth path, your evolution in this lifetime. It takes many lives to set up, so it just doesn't start in this life, although I guess it might if you just started incarnating on the planet, but a lot of us have been doing this since Atlantis fell. Some of us before even that, right? So just tuning to this first line, we've got the bully, we've got harmony, we've got the Ace of Blades, we've got play, and we've got receive with love and appreciation. That, yeah, there's a risk here, but it feels like the risk is internal, right? That the risk is about this child or this fear of being abused and neglected, or being abusive or neglectful, a cowardly vibration in there. That's not who you really are. You're not the bully. We're not our archetypes. They are contracts of how we learn. Like when you go to college, you pick a major, right? And then you pick a minor. It's like that, except this is this lifetime. And remember, some archetypes can come and go, right? We all have to deal with bullies. So this doesn't even necessarily say that this is something in your entire life that you've had to deal with, but I'm sure there's a part of the Aries collective that does have that, right? How are you bullying yourself? How are you bullying others? And are you being bullied, and what are you going to do about that? So tuning here, what do we want to go in on? What do we want to go in on? What do we want to go in on? All right, they're telling me to pull one of the love pack cards for this Ace of Blades. All right. My masters, please, one card of clarity for this card of the Sybil, the Ace of Blades. What is this new thought, new idea, new communication, this seed of air? 2 cards, really? Oh, self-worth and doubt. There we go. That's why I love working with multiple decks. I've been working with multiple decks for a really long time. I used to use the medicine cards with rune stones and all of that too. So doubt with self-worth, that makes sense. It's like that there is this thing that your self-worth, you are in doubt, and that's the push and pull on this. And perhaps with this Ace of Blades, this is a new way of looking at this. This is like, oh, particularly if you've been experiencing that on the path of true love in terms of others doubting your self-worth, and therefore hence the bully. What a great way to attract a bully, or to bully yourself, is to doubt your self-worth. Now, to clarify this, without a card, maybe we'll pick another one there. This is really important. Your worth you can't really calculate from the point of view of your five senses. If you go that way, it's all going to be the external, about how much money you make, what you look. It's mostly physical, right? But then there's, well, you know, what is my education? All of these qualifications, like a resume we have to build in order to be good enough in this world. Where the truth of the matter is, darling, the gods created you. You are as the gods created you, the core of who you are. The soul of who you are, that worth cannot be calculated in this world because we all have the same worth. We're perfect, we're divine, we are loved, we are wise, we are powerful. But once we come into bodies, it's like that thing, I call it a uppercase S self and lowercase s self. The uppercase S self, the higher self, the true self, the God self, the transpersonal self, it's been called the Buddha self, the Jesus self, the Christ self, the God, whatever you want to call it, knows its worth, right? Because it has full memory. But the lowercase s self, the ego, the personality, the body, the character that the soul incarnated to play, that was chosen. See, that's the thing people don't get. It's not so much that we chose to come in this time. This might not be true for everybody, but I know for first wavers, this is true. Like, we could have moved on. We maybe didn't have to come back, but they chose us to play these roles. And if you look at, like I do this with my hires, when I'm coming from my higher self, I look at Mark A. Lyons, Mal, as this amazingly written character. It's like, oh my God, then I get how lucky I am as a soul to play this, and then I'm all in. It's like, okay, I choose it. I choose being Mark. Let's do this. Balls to the wall. Dye your hair purple. Let's go on YouTube. Let's fucking do what we came here to do, right? Serve the divine plan, really not even knowing what it is. And remember that the path of true love is part of the divine plan. Your relationships are essential. They are the means through which we learn, heal, and grow. I mean, I wish hermitage we could do that. I think in other lives we did that, right? Like Aries, a great sign to say, no, I want to be alone, right? The one, the self, I need to be solitary, but sometimes that can feel lonely, or sometimes that can feel alone. Lonely is the child, lonely is the child archetype, alone is the victim. For me, the witch is solitary. That's why ultimately I'm an eclectic solitary. I will beg, borrow, and steal information and truth wherever I can find it, for my good and for the well-being of all. So doubting your self-worth is something we all do. I do it. Anybody who says they don't doubt their self-worth is probably an aggressive narcissist. But but that's a bully, isn't it? Underneath it all is this fear that, oh no, I have no self-worth. I'm worth nothing. I'm worth nothing. I'm worth nothing. And it's just not true. It's never going to feel good in your body. It's always going to bring you to the bottom of the ocean, as it were, snuffing out your fire for a little bit, because it's not true. It's just not true. You are worth the world, and that's why they sent you. What else you want me to tune in here? My pantheon of angels, guides, and masters. This card of play. Oh, a tarot. All right. Good. Daughters of the Moon. Here we go. Now I'm just going to realign these. I'll make it all nice and pretty and symmetrical when I take the pictures and put them in edits. That's why I had to push the laptop and the camera way back, because it's like, you're going to need a lot of space with this. And I have my cigarettes and my coffee ready. Here we go. My gods, please clarify this card for play for the Aries collective on the path of true love. Now, the Pisces card. Now, interesting, you're Aries. This is the card of Pisces. Now, yes, this can indicate that there might be a Piscean person who will help you play along with this. But let's not lock it down into sun sign. Yes, they could have Pisces in any placement. But that I find not terribly helpful, because a lot of people don't even know their own charts, let alone somebody else's. Oh, but as I put my hands on this, this can also be about fantasy play, role play, going and playing with the collective unconscious in terms of diving into your intuition, diving into your emotions. You got this card of harmony here, that if you really allow this Ace of Blades, a seed, to be planted within your subconscious and your unconscious here, that there will be a playful element there, that you'll get a deeper connection as to the role that you are playing on the path of true love in any particular relationship that springs to mind. Okay, we'll see if that comes up. I'll be glad to do that. They said maybe I can pick one for another in this, even though may not do that for every reading. What else do we want to look at here? Well, we've got this card of harmony. What do you want me to pull for the card of harmony? Oh, a whisper of love. Okay, so I get it. my collective pantheon of angels, guides, and masters, please one card for the Aries collective sun, moon, rising signs on the path of true love for September 2019. How can they achieve this harmony, or what is this harmony about? Have faith. Trust your faith in this situation, right? So that's what's going to help bring you into this harmony, is a having faith. Now, what I've said this when this card has come up before, and I like it when I pull it for myself for the day, because it's sort of like, oh, okay, have faith. But it says trust in your faith in this situation, which would make sense with that card of doubt and self-worth. You've done that before, we all have, but I love the wording of that. Trust your faith. So you have the faith, but you're not trusting it. Why? Possibly because of doubt in your self-worth, or if that's even worth doing, because you've done it before and you didn't get what you wanted. Now here's the dealio with that. Again, going back to this Ace of Blades, a new way of looking at this, a new thought system beginning, a new belief system in play, that that it had to happen that way. That we don't often get what we want on the path of true love until we're ready for it. But we, you know, you can spiritually discipline yourself. You can do your yoga, your Tai Chi. I heard today, yeah, he does Tai Chi while he drinks chai tea. I laughed so hard there was no one around. The cats just looked at me, right? The spiritual obedience is not the way. Well, if I scrub my chakras with bleach and wire brush and I do everything I'm supposed to do, I'll get what I want. It's not like that. That's not playing the game. That's working the system. And you cannot work the system of the divine plan. It is self-correcting. You got to know that you don't know. It's a mystical thing. People are like, it's so mystical. Mystical means of mystery. Mystery usually drives people up a fucking wall, right? I don't know. You have to make friends with uncertainty. So how do you do that? You say, all right, well, I'm going to have faith. I already have faith, but I have to trust in that faith that somehow this is happening for me instead of to me, particularly with a bully archetype there. This deals with fear and intimidation. That's some of your own intimidation. It's about having faith that this is intimidating because this is something I came in to do, and I can trust in my faith that I will get through this because the only way out is through. So there's some courage there. What else you want me to pull here, my guides? Because this feels really good, really solid. Do you want me to? All right. One tarot card for the other, because if you're on the path of true love, and please remember, the path of true love is not all romantic sexual. In fact, none of this indicates that it's romantic sexual or that it's not. They're sort of neutral in that way. So let's see, let me pull a tarot. So who is this Aries sun, moon, rising sign in the collective? Who are they dealing with in this on the path of true love? They're dealing with the hermit, the wise one, she who rides alone. So someone who's probably cut off communication, right? Or is taking time for themselves. And if we're really identifying that as the other, that would definitely bring up the doubt of self-worth. Well, am I doing something wrong? Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I'm too good for them. Maybe they're too good for me. A lot of doubt going on there. All right, clarify with a love pack card. So another piece about this, please, my masters. Who is the other in this Aries collective sun, moon, rising path of true love for September? What's going on with this person? Well, with happiness, it's like they're very happy. This hermit is very, very happy, or working on happiness for themselves, which may be very intimidating for you. In other words, you might be taking this personally. Oh, what a shock, Aries first house. You might be taking this personally, that they may not be responding. They may be really too busy. Yeah? All right. They want me to pull a whisper of love for this other. Please, my pantheon of angels, gods, and masters. One card for this Aries collective sun, moon, rising, Venus signs on the path of true love for September 2019. A whisper of love for this other. Wow. This is, I haven't read this one yet. There are a lot of them I haven't experienced directly. Show simple acts of kindness. A simple act of kindness can energize you and bring happiness to those around you. Now, can I tell you something? If you're the bully in this, this is the way to go with this person. Simple act of kindness. Simple act of kindness. You don't have to come in with a Sherman tank of affection, which is maybe your style. Just to really say, you know, simple act of kindness. Hi, we popped in, and really be honest too. Don't fuck around. Don't, you know, story write on this. Just like when they pop into your mind, just say, hey, I was thinking about you. Need anything? You know, or saw this, thought of you, but don't overdo it. I saw these 10,000 bouquets of roses and I thought I'd give them to you. That's manipulation. That's coercion. Knock it off. You're dealing with this like a warrior if you're doing that. So simple acts of kindness. They want me to pull one more. Want me to pull one more for you, Aries, to clarify for Aries. To clarify, well, they're saying, look on what's missing here. So we've got one angel. Oh, I get it. You guys are good. Of course, they're angels, gods, and masters. Please, one final card, an overlighting card, an angel card. Please, my angels, please clarify this with one singular card for the Aries collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs for September 2019. Please, one clarifying card. Freedom. This is about you breaking your chains. This is about you being free to be who you are without all of the psychic weight of the bully, without and again with harmony. I mean, this is not a car wreck of a reading here. This is about a lot of internal work. So it would make sense that the hermit, the wise one in happiness, to just show simple signs that they are kind of happy, but, you know, show simple acts of kindness that in a way they're giving you some time to work this stuff out. Now, there's no indication that this is a lover. It could be a friend, it could be a coworker, but to then show a simple act of kindness, particularly when someone who's already in our life pulls back and is like, hey, what happened? Maybe you're being ghosted, but my sense is that's not the case. You might feel like you're being ghosted, but that's not what I'm feeling here. I'm feeling like that they're really kind of doing their own thing and taking care of themselves and finding their own happiness. That's what that is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. They're whoopsie, they're finding. Wow, I still, this left-right thing is still working on my Virgo mind. That they're finding their happiness. They're making themselves happy, and you want that. You want somebody who's not dependent upon you for happiness, even if it's a child, even if it's a parent. That's just essential codependence. You might as well call it a relationship addiction. And that's not what I'm feeling here. I'm feeling like that there is kindness here. That there may not be communication, a lot of contact, you may not be in the same physical space and in a sense separation, but, you know, also receive with love and appreciation that when you do get a little something from this person, remember that doesn't necessarily mean romantic, sexual. He said crossing his solar plexus with his arms, that receive it with love and appreciation. Just thank you, because if maybe that there's a little tennis match here of simple acts of kindness. And remember, if you haven't read my book, read my book, Words of Grace from a Professional Wish. It's on my website. You can buy it in the store. The grace of kindness is part of the root chakra, right? What we call the first chakra, Aries, first sun in the zodiac. And it's not just about acts of kindness, which it is, but the grace of kindness helps us. It helps soothe us from the illusion of separation from each other, because we are all of like kind. Right? You with me? That we're all source energy. We're all soul. We're all spirit. We're all the hidden children of the gods. And remember, ultimately, we're hidden to ourselves as the children of gods for a very long time. Because, psst, I've got a secret for you that you can tell everybody. Everyone's a hidden child of the gods, even the people we hate. Yeah. And us hating them is part of how we remove the obstacles to our own awareness of who we truly are as divine beings. And that's what the Path of True Love is ultimately about. It's not a love boat cruise. Although I would love to go on an old love boat cruise with, you know, Harvey Korman and Charo. That was my era. I grew up in the 70s. But that there's something very playful about this. If you can play the game, that there's something very satisfying and something very healing here for you, as for the other in this situation Who knows? And remember, any of you other signs watching this, I don't know that I'm pulling another for everybody. We'll see. I serve you. I work for them. We cool? Let's end with a little blessing, because I love doing that. Let's do that. All right. Loud and clear. My pantheon of angels, gods, and masters, please join with me in this blessing. Guide this blessing for the Aries collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs on the path of true love in general, but in specific for September 2019. May they be blessed. May they be blessed with all that they need on the path of true love, that they may love what rises, that they may go through what they need to go through, to bring their emotions into harmony, to alchemize the intimidation and the fears, the neglect and abuse of the bully within them or around them, that they may see this differently with that Ace of Blades, that they may play the game, that they may receive what comes to them with love and appreciation, whether it's from this other person, from you, or from the world in general, to receive what comes even when it doesn't look like it's what they want, to go, okay, thank you. Thank you. I will learn to love this if I don't love it immediately. May they have faith. May they find their freedom from the doubt of self-worth, and that their emotions, their deep subconscious, accepts this experience of true self-worth as being divine. Through simple acts of kindness, they express their divinity. May the subconscious accept that as the new normal for them, that they are as the gods created them, that they are love because we are love, truly. Thank you, my angels, my gods, and my masters. Blessed be all hearts, blessed be all minds, blessed be all choices, that we may walk the path of true love as consciously and deliberately as possible and fulfill our roles in the divine plan. So mote it be. I love you, my Aries collective. I really wish you the best on the path of true love. Remember, you can always book a reading with me. And you know what? It looks pretty much just like this. And so what I'm taping these videos on, recording them, is the same way that I do one-on-one readings. I got one tonight. A woman in Florida referred to me by another woman in Florida. So please reach out if you need the help. If you need, or if you're local, you can come to the house, or I'll make a house call. Yes, I still make house calls on occasion. But also, if anything resonated for you here, please like, subscribe, share, whatever, because more and more people are tuning into this and getting a little bit more different information than what I see out there a lot in the public in terms of readings for love and romance and all that stuff. This is a much bigger context, and it's ultimately about you becoming the truth of who you are, step by step by step on the path. Cool, cool. For now, my darlings, my Aries, I wish you the very best. Farewell on the path of true love, and blessed be.